A very good evening to you all and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 23rd day of July 2024. On sign language, it is Senyombo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. And we are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, in an early morning joint security agencies interception, over 20 protesters were arrested before gaining access to Parliament. Now, police heavily deployed and maintained presence at all government institutions, including Parliament. The protesters' march to Parliament was raising awareness about an end to rampant corruption in the country. And as we hear from Justin Nakami, the heavy deployments followed an anticipated demonstration march to Parliament organized by groups seeking to express dissent against the increasing corruption in the country that was voiced on the X social media platform.
It is not business as usual. Joint security agencies, among others the police, JAT, and all intelligence units couldn't take any chances deploying at Parliament premises and all government institutions ahead of the March to Parliament protests. All routes leading to these places have limited access with identification required for access. Barricades, road blocks, as such. Everyone operating within the vicinity of the August House must identify themselves before proceeding. But the demonstrators were not in the vicinity. So security agencies perhaps hoped for a peaceful day as demonstrators seemed to shun security deployments. By surprise, it was a turn of events. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Scores of protesters surfaced, some in groups, others in isolation, but with the same agenda: end corruption in the August House. Security swung to action, arresting scores of protesters before getting to Parliament.
We are tired of corruption and it has to resign.
The Chief Whip to Parliament, John Baptist Nambeshe, told UBC his opinion on the heavy deployment in town following a peaceful protest, which is a constitutional right.
Come out as one of the leadership of the political iron opposition to denounce and condemn in the strongest terms possible the action of the powers that be, to have deployed heavily, blocking the constitutional right of the Generation Z and the millennials that had mooted this good idea of demonstrating against the wanton corruption that this country is wallowing in.
Others are against such protests by the youth, saying that they cause destruction of properties and lives.
Whatever demonstration at the target that they came for, go into people's businesses, steal and dismantle, like what happened. They are trying to copy Kenya. At least we are far from Kenya as regards the security and the peace we are really enjoying.
Anita must go.
The protesters' demands seem clear: the resignation of Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, and the 4 backbench commissioners, and a reduction on the number of Ugandan MPs, an audit into the lifestyle of MPs, and slashing salaries and allowances of MPs to 3 million Ugandan shillings. Arrests of these protesters have been ongoing throughout the country. Justin Nakami in Kampala.
Thanks, Justin, for that story there. Meanwhile, security personnel engaged in running battles with peaceful protesters marching to Parliament in an anti-graft demonstration. Several of these protesters were arrested as many were foiled from the move to access Parliament.
Recently, a group of Ugandans who claimed to be concerned citizens announced a march to Parliament on social media as part of an anti-graft demonstration. This follows accusations of corruption in the August House, condemning it as a misuse of taxpayers' money. At 5 a.m. on the designated day, we headed to Chibuye expecting to encounter roadblocks and observe the deployment, but found none. By 6 a.m., we reached various road routes and points leading to Parliament and its vicinity. Here, barricades were erected to prevent civilians from accessing Parliament. Heavy security deployment guarded the area, and individuals were required to present their identification cards throughout the day. Along Ginger Road, military vehicles were on standby, though movement was normal. In Kabalagala, UPDF and police officers patrolled the area, causing business operators to hesitate opening due to threats. At Okerigi village in one of Kampala's suburbs, a section of youths were led by their councillors on their way to Parliament. Holding placards, they went along singing the Ugandan national anthem and mocking those they accuse of graft.
We lay our future in thy hand. We end corruption. We end corruption. We end corruption.
Era kyetugenda okuzzaako ffe nga bannayuganda buli MP buli minisita alidde ssente y'omusolo buli MP oba minisita alidde corruption akoraptinze ssente z'eggwanga ezandibadde mu ddwaliro ezandibadde mu nguudo. Kyetugenda okuddako tugenda kubalumba mu maka gaabwe, tugenda kujja gye bawangaalira abantu abo tusobole okulaba nti nno meseji yaffe etuuka nayo yennyini gye bawangaalira.
Era ku buufu obwo nvumirira bakamishona yadde n'abaffe owaffe yalimu era mwamulaba engeri ekibiina gye kyamukwatamu. Ffe ng'aba National Unity Platform tuvumirira enguzi.
Almost halfway their destination to Parliament, they lost stand and took to their heels after learning they would be intercepted by the surveillance teams of enforcers. Armed security and police patrolled Central Business District, particularly Chikubo, Mini Press and Arua Park. Some protesters were arrested at Arua Park and detained at a local police post before being transported to the Central Police Station. But they continue to voice their concerns.
Parliament should be set
we are not hooligans,
we are fighting corruption.
We are simply fighting
we are not
for
fighting
corruption.
For anyone.
All road links and routes had heavy detailed security alertness. I'm Ivan Juko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Thanks, Juko, for that story there. Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has advised people who plan to take petitions to Parliament to officially write to the leadership of Parliament. During plenary sitting, the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, he claimed that Parliament has exhibited double standards, citing the discrimination of youth protesters against corruption who have been arrested from different parts of Kampala as they marched to present their petition to the Speaker of Parliament.
Parliament has resumed business Tuesday from recess, and despite other business on the order paper, members of Parliament directed the debate to the youth protest against corruption that have failed to succeed despite attempts by the youth. The leader of opposition of Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, raised this issue, saying there seems to be double standards in Parliament, citing some demonstrators from Remiaga who were allowed into parliamentary premises, while the youth were not given the same treatment.
People who, as we have been witnessing, have been coming to Parliament in similar fashion with placards, marching, saying they have concerns about corruption in Parliament and elsewhere, and they were coming in similar fashion, like those ones, to come and raise their concerns here in Parliament before us and before you, Right Honourable Speaker. Many of them have been bundled up, they have been beaten up, many are in jail. And so I thought, the same way, Right Honourable Speaker, you received those who were protesting, apparently, against one of our honourable colleagues, you would receive them in similar manner, because
the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, said for the protesters from Remiaga, he received communication from the Speaker, Anita Mong, to receive them, but Parliament has not received any formal communication from the youth.
Not move from my chair to move around to start looking for people, to soliciting
for petitions from the public. When we are a formal institution that has formal structures, I request if there is anyone, the address of Parliament is known. If there is anyone who wants to bring a petition to Parliament, let them write to the leadership of Parliament. We shall guide them on how to bring the petition.
The Prime Minister Robin Anabanja said government is charged with the responsibility to protect the people and their property. Member of Parliament Buhweju County Francis Mwijuche wondered why the excessive deployment, asking whether the police is overwhelmed, while Mwanga Chivombi requested Parliament to create space for the youth to air out their voices.
We need government to brief us on what is happening in the country so that we know, because as I talk now, the members are all over, people are running away, we are surrounded, so we want to know.
I appeal to you, Right Honorable Speaker, is that this, what is going on, and Parliament sits in these extraordinary circumstances, surrounded by forces that ordinarily go to war. Therefore, it requires this House to find space and adequate time, whether it's at school, for us to come here and debate the concerns of those people boldly.
Member of Parliament Erute County South, Odur Jonathan, also expressed concern why the youth had been denied access to enter Parliament, saying if they failed to allow them, they will resort to go to the homes of the corrupt. Muhammadin Sereko MP Kampala Central supported MP Odur, saying that if the issue of access to opportunities is not addressed, the country will have repeated crimes and a breed of protests.
Please try to provide an answer. We don't want Ugandans to come. They are already saying if they cannot access us here in this Parliament, they will go to our homes. I cannot take that for granted. Me, I don't have a police officer. I don't have security. Many of you have security combat what I don't have.
There is a cycle of election. If someone is discontented today, my best advice to our young colleagues, 16 months are not far away. If your member of Parliament has not performed, pick the nomination forms and contest against them and come and do better here.
Meanwhile, as the debate intensified, MP Aringa South County, Alioni Yoke, brought the issue of members of Parliament running away from supporting the issue of corruption to be debated on floor of Parliament, citing their exercise of collecting signatures to impeach 4 parliamentary commissioners.
Are all blocking us from that. What is this Parliament all about? Where are you taking this country? Today, this country is under panic. Today, they have deployed the army massively because of issues of corruption in this country. Why don't you let Ugandans free from corruption?
Taibwa said they are all accused of corruption but with no evidence. He however said the chairman committee on legal and that of budget will give an explanation on the issue of the Commissioner's Service Awards. Busia Municipality MP Macho Joffre said it is high time these issues of corruption are debated.
If you call me corrupt when I'm not corrupt, it's not, no, I don't need to, because you've not tabled evidence of me being corrupt. So I will request you table, okay? Each one of us has been accused of corruption here. Each one of us. I know, even some members who are raising the highest voices, they have been accused of corruption.
But Mr. Speaker, they are speaking about the Speaker, about the commissioners, about you. We also have the writings on the wall speaking about the law, 1.7 billion. And truly I wanted to agree with you that almost everybody is talked about. Even Honeberion, it is known one time they spoke about him.
Nafka Farida and Gloria Guitabinji.
Now, Uganda Law Society has condemned the manner in which security handled peaceful protesters against corruption who intended to march to Parliament and present their grievances to legislators. ULS President Bernard Owundo says they will commit legal support to arrested protesters and their intention towards fighting against corruption in the country.
Uganda Law Society has reported at least 46 anti-corruption protesters arrested by security. These were intercepted by security during a march to Parliament to express dissatisfaction on the alleged corruption within Parliament and other government offices. The society condemns the manner in which security handled peaceful protesters, which they say undermines constitutionalism. At least 20 lawyers have been deployed at a pro bono basis to ascertain and avail legal assistance to those arrested during the protest.
Based on the arrest, the numbers that we have are about 42. We have 37 who are at Central Police Station, and then we have 5 who are held at Ginger Road Police Station. So we are waiting to see. We've been told that they're going to be charged in court, and we have different legal teams to be able to request for bail as and when they are brought to court.
The Law Society distances itself from organizing the protest, however, commits their full support as the action is deemed collective responsibility and a natural right for freedom of assembly.
These young people who have been arrested, about 45 today, are speaking for many. As Uganda Law Society, we have come out and spoken about corruption. Corruption will take all of us. It is a deadly evil that should not anyone, any willing, meaningful Ugandan should actually stand up against corruption. And we're also responding to the President's call. The President of this great nation has mentioned that all of us should stand up and fight against corruption.
And all people who are against corruption were welcome to join the protests. I want to imagine that people of different political groups joined, including NUP people, including NRM people maybe, joined the protest, especially all those who are against corruption. And we are here as activists because we think that these people were in a peaceful protest, which is allowed in the Constitution. No law has been broken, no riot. So we are here to try to fight for their rights.
By end of day, police had not released the full report for the day's operations across the country concerning the March to Parliament protest to ascertain the correct figure of those arrested and damages caused. Abdul Nasir Rwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Over 30 suspects arrested during the planned anti-corruption march to Parliament have been charged and remanded on charges of common nuisance and being idle and disorderly. The suspects were arraigned at Buganda Road Court and Nakawa Court, respectively. Deborah Namamonde gives us more.
Suspects who were arrested earlier in that day during the procession to Parliament have been charged and remanded by Nakawa Chief Magistrates Court with 2 counts of common nuisance and being idle and disorderly. These include, among others, Thomas Kazira, Bernard Olport Ewal, Ediga Hamala, Alijabu Musinguzi, and Faizo Salim. They appeared before Grade 1 Magistrate Rita Kidasa. According to the charge sheet, the 5 and others still at large on 23rd July 2024 at Oasis Mall in Kampala District did an act of gathering together while shouting, Anita Monk should resign, and littering placards bearing the same words. Prosecution also alleges that the accused in Kampala District publicly conducted themselves in a manner likely to breach peace. State Prosecutor Eunice Mbaine told court that investigations are still ongoing. However, the accused, through their legal team, failed to apply for bail. The trial magistrate remanded them until 30th July 2024. Meanwhile, Buganda Road Magistrates Court has charged and remanded over 30 suspects on charges of common nuisance. These were arrested this morning. While participating in the planned march to Parliament, they appeared before different magistrates and they were remanded to Zilla Government Prison until next month. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
And to some other news now, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, has commissioned a multi-billion health facility in Kampala with a state-of-the-art technology to carry out diagnostic services and also solve infertility problems amongst Ugandans. The Healing Way Diagnostic and Fertility Center under the Mukula Group of companies is expected to reduce on the number of Ugandans who seek treatment abroad. We have more in this story.
Infertility has negative consequences on the socio-economic and psychological well-being of affected individuals, families and communities. Given the prevailing circumstances in the country, Prime Minister Robert Nabbanja commissioned a multi-billion facility centre to tackle infertility issues in the country.
My honor to officially.
Although Uganda has a high fertility rate, there is a big number of couples who suffer from infertility. About 10 to 15% of the couples cannot have children due to infertility.
While Uganda, while it has a very high fertility rate, we also have among the highest rates of infertility in the world. According to the World Health Organization, in the lifetime of most of the people that you will see, 1 in 6 will have experienced a problem with infertility. A lady being there without a baby is very expensive. And going to India to get a baby is millions of shillings. I'm one person who's looking ahead to see many babies being manufactured from the healing facility. And I'm sure there are many mothers you're going to put a smile on, because the few facilities which are making babies in Uganda, I think they're quite expensive.
However, Nabbanja noted that infertility had always carried a female face, thus causing emotional stress and social stigma.
The ability to conceive and bear children is a cherished dream for many, and it is our duty to ensure that this dream remains within reach for all. Our society tends to blame women for being infertile, who are referred to as, in Uganda, abagumba.
Healing Way Diagnostic and Fertility Center is a set of art that offers health diagnostic and fertility services. The facility is expected to reduce on the number of Ugandans who seek fertility services abroad.
This, we do not need $1 from government of Uganda. We have the financing in writing to build this capacity or build this institution. We want to say that there is no need for Ugandans or the entire region to fly to India, to Dubai, to Turkey, to Germany, or even to be flown to the United States, when we can now be able to have the same equipment and the doctors fully trained to do this in Uganda.
We had showcased our capabilities of diagnostics, fertility care, dialysis, pharmacy, outpatient clinics. I would like to take from here forward that this is an example that we would like to set in the terms of diagnostics care and exceptional, bringing excellence to diagnostics so that there is no need for patients to travel abroad.
The disease burden in Uganda is mainly still communicable, but we are moving more towards what you would call those westernized diseases. So there's more issues with cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease that we're seeing.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Amanya gange nze Namutebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable. Gold. We
all want it. That soft yellow glow with subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Moving on, the Attorney General Chiriowa Kiwanuka has warned members of Parliament against interfering with matters in court. Kiwanuka responded after a wide cry by a section of opposition members led by the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, that 3 members subscribing to the National Unity Platform Party were arrested and remanded. MPs including Francis Zake, Tebandeke Charles and Hassan Chirumira were arrested on Monday as security blocked the National Unity Platform Party from holding a press conference. Now, the House resumed on Tuesday and the matters were fronted in a session chaired by the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa.
Open! You jump there. Open! 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 You jump there. Having like machines. Human behavior.
The leader of opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, informed the House, chaired by the Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, of 3 members of Parliament who were on Monday arrested and remanded after security blocked a press conference of the National Unity Platform Party. The MPs in prison include Francis Zake of Mityana Municipality, Hassan Chirumira of Katikamu South, and Charles Tebandeke of Bale County.
I think it would be a good thing for government to help us understand the seeming double standards there are, because several other political entities keep operating.
The Prime Minister Robin Anabanja disputed the LOP's submissions, justifying with the constitutional provision allowing the security sector to prevent a suspected crime.
You know, these illegal people think for us we don't read. The government of Uganda is charged with the responsibility to take care of security of people and persons and their property. And so it is under that some of our colleagues are under detention. But the law is clear.
There was chaos in the House which convened amid a high tension after the wide security deployment blocking a section of the dubbed youth who had wanted to march to Parliament to present a petition.
There were no evidence. If someone is moving to attend a press conference, what evidence do you have that the person wanted to disorganize the government?
The Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa informed the members who had turned to be compulsive talkers, throwing verbal attacks against others to press a pardon button, as the House is yet to consider the recent State of the Nation address by the President, which contained all the demands fronted.
Because when it comes to issues of colleagues here, we are all endangered species. In all this we are doing, if the thinking is that some are going to come out clean and others dirty, I can tell you we are all in trouble. If we are to sink, we shall sink together.
Tayebwa later allowed the MPs to continue with the discussion after the matters on the order paper were exhausted. Maugala County MP Goreti Namuga narrated the event which led to the arrest of the 3 NUP party MPs.
Mr. Speaker, are we proceeding very well? No. If we sit in this house when the law is totally being disbanded, we are acting out of the Constitution, outside the law, right, Honorable Speaker. Is it intentional?
The Attorney General Chiriowa Kiwanuka reminded the MPs of sub judice of court. The arrested MPs were arraigned in court and remanded to Luzira prison. Chiriowa Kiwanuka asks that the law is respected to take its course.
So in an attempt to think that you're doing them a favor, you may actually do them a disservice. So when these matters are in court, when you stand here and say this person was doing this and this and this, you have no idea what this person has told the police he was doing. So you may actually do them a disservice.
The interpretation of the powers of the police was also a concern. MP for Rwemiyaga County Theodore Sechikubo alleged that the MPs were arraigned in court beyond the illegal hours, to which the Attorney General responded.
Colleagues, we are leaders here. For someone to say here that people were presented in court at night, and remanded is wrong. You know? No, because court has working hours.
Is that police is drifting away from the guidance of the Constitutional Court in the conduct of their affairs. And I think that's where the problem is. For example, the issue of meetings of political parties are outside the purview in terms of notification.
The Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, has interested the members to await a business committee meeting which will handle a way forward to the concerns of the MPs. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gitabenji, UBC News.
Now, the Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Jacob Maxons Oboth, has called upon the new Board of Directors of the National Enterprise Corporation to prioritize the corporation's prosperity, growth and long-term prospects. He was at the inauguration of the new Board of Directors of the National Enterprise Corporation headquarters in Bugolobi, Kampala. Both tasked the board to guide the corporation towards realizing its purpose in supporting UPDF's goals through engaging in activities that contribute to Uganda's development. The newly inaugurated board includes General Retired Joram Mugume, who is the chairman, Professor Charles Kwesiga, Lieutenant General Charles Otema Awanyi, Lieutenant General Kayanja Mhanga, Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, Lieutenant General James Mugira, Major General Jack Makasumba, Major General David Mujisha, Mr. Francis Kahirita Ngabirano, Engineer Isaac Musasizi, Dr. Anna Rose Ademonokurut, Dr. Joshua Mutambi, and Mr. Hannington Ashaba. National Enterprise Corporation, NEC, was established in 1989 by an Act of Parliament to serve as a commercial arm of the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs, Uganda People's Defence Forces, and to produce goods and services that are beneficial to the Defence Forces and the public.
This opportunity to thank all the members of the old board who sacrificed their time to attend to the corporation matters. Since the inception of the corporation, some strides have been achieved and much more is expected. By virtue of subsection 1 of section 7 of the NEC statute and in furtherance of the objectives for setting up NEC, I have appointed you on this new board of NEC, which I'm officially inaugurating this morning. I commend this board to utilize the structures of the corporation in directing and managing the activities of the corporation so as to enhance the long-term value for the shareholders and the financial viability of the enterprise. Furthermore, you should ensure the business prosperity, growth, and survival of the corporation while carrying out your statutory functions. I expect total accountability because accountability breeds acceptance and respectability by investors for the enterprise. Both business prosperity and accountability are at the forefront of every corporation strategic thinking, planning, and activity.
As management, we look forward to working closely with the board, and on behalf of management and staff, I pledge maximum cooperation as we take NEC to greater heights.
This is the third term as chairman of NEC. As I serve my third as a board chairman, I promise to remain dedicated and impartial to each of the board members and management. Honorable Minister, because of the harmonized relationship between the board and management, the corporation was able to register increased income in a number of its subsidiaries and NEC in general. I'm not going to go in details of the profits, but it has been quite successful in a number of areas, and we congratulate them in their performance.
Now, participants undergoing the National Ideology Cadres Training course in Agago District have been trained in assembling and handling and use of firearms. The Agago District RDC, James Kidega, says equipping cadres with the knowledge to use firearms enables them to defend their country and themselves. However, he states that they can only do so within the laws of the land.
I am happy that the cadres are picking up because they are leaders. They are not taking time. They are picking up parades. They are picking up drills. They are now in basic of gun management. They are teaching them on how to stripple and assemble a gun and target and shoot. This one is very important because as citizens of Uganda, you know the Constitution gives us mandate to defend our country. You can't defend from behind. You have to defend from in front. And what you defend with is the gun. People now are defending their country with missile. But for us, still we are teaching them AK-47 how it works, which is good for them to defend their country. I see their big interest in how to know how to shoot the gun and how to work with it. It is good. It is making them confident that they can defend their country.
Actually, I did cadre training before, but it took me so long, and I found it has changed because the kind of different guns that we are handling today is quite a different gun that I've handled today.
All participants attending the National Ideology Cadreship Training course are donning UPDF training attire provided by the UPDF. Journalists covering the sessions are also wearing the same attire, just like how I am smartly dressed. While many of them have been trained on how to handle, use and assemble a firearm, they are expected to emulate high level of discipline when they go back to their communities, since any misuse of the experience gotten from here, contrary to the UPDF Act, is punishable by law.
They know the rules of the day, that with uniform, this one here, the one which is having different colors are for UPDF. There is plain. So when you put uniform for UPDF, that one which it has different colors, you will be arrested. They know. Don't put on the shoe anyhow, shoe of the UPDF anyhow. So we have been teaching them those kind of rules and regulations on how to military works. They know. So they know this one I'll be arrested, this one I will not be arrested, even if I'm a cadre, I don't cross certain bridge. If you leave them without not telling them, they think that they're everything. They will start messing up in the villages. But these are leaders. Like 83, you go and mess, what will the community say? You need votes. They will say, okay, fine. You will be treated badly.
Our reporter Ivan Kawa, they of course smartly dressed in that army uniform. Now, the Special Forces Command has passed out 321 of its officers who have completed the Tier 2 course. Now, this course enables them to anticipate risks, assess situations quickly, and respond with precision and effectiveness while remaining calm and working under pressure. And as Evan Kahwa reports, the course further inculcates the ability to adapt to changing circumstances and make split-second decisions.
321 operators from the Special Forces Command have graduated after completing a Tier 2 course of Intake 3 2023-2024 at the very important Persons Training School in Serra Kasenyi, Entebbe. The Tier 2 course aims to equip new militants joining the SFC and elite special battalions with basic unit tactics and VIP protection concepts.
I had to get a secondary weapon, whereby I drop pistol, I get a secondary weapon to engage the enemy.
They have been tested during training in the basic understanding and application of the tactics, techniques and procedures during the execution of the 7 combat battle drills, and how to neutralize effectively and in any emerging threats that may arise against very, very important persons. So these two groups have really achieved the standard.
The 28-week course comprised both theoretical and practical lessons associated with VVIP protection.
Tier 2 course conducted here at very, very important persons training school, Selakasen, was opened on the 7th of August, the year 2023, and was aimed at equipping trainees with very important persons knowledge, skills, and attitude necessary to serve their country with pride and honor.
Colonel John Bosco Asinguza, the commander of the 1st Special Forces Group, emphasized the importance of training and preparing troops amidst emerging threats.
It is therefore my great honor, on behalf of Commander Special Forces Command and on my own behalf, to stand before you today to celebrate your remarkable achievement, having finished this noble course. And to do that, let me thank the CDF, General Hoskeni Rugaba, for whose continued training, guidance, nurturing and equipping of the Special Forces Command shifted us from a small unit to a formidable, robust, efficient, resilient, professional and dedicated force the world is proud of today.
The graduates have been tasked to avoid subversive acts that could destroy their lives and instead focus on promoting patriotism and excellence.
Training, yes, is very good 100%, but you have to spice it with your own voluntary discipline, like Permanent said here. You must have that, not mechanical, conscious discipline. Be conscious discipline. Just avoid those subversive tendencies. Acha au kata, if you have never done it. Ulevi, usharati, udanganyifu.
The Director of Operations SFC, Colonel Paul Namawa, congratulated all the officers on successfully completing the course and urged them to uphold the highest level of values and stay ahead of negative forces.
Trying to list those people who are not here with us for various reasons ranging from discipline, though others were deployed elsewhere, but some of them could have been disciplined and others did not have the zeal, the steel to go on up to today. So I need to really congratulate you for this, for working hard to ensure that today you can make it and you can comfortably stand here or sit here to be commissioned.
This was a joint pass-out ceremony by the leadership of the Special Forces Command for the trainees who underwent the Tier 2 training program, including 143 from the SFC Fort Samora Marcel Training School in Kaweweta and 178 from the very, very important Persons Training School in Entebbe. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Thanks, Kahwa, for that story there. To Karamoja now, where Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Peter Lokeres, has warned the Karimojong over theft of livestock and killing one another as a result of cattle raiding between the GA and Bokora clans. He was meeting different Karimojong clans from districts of Moroto, Napak and Kotido alongside the MK Youth Initiative team led by its chairperson John Patrick Okiru to discuss peace in the region.
Livestock theft is common in Karamoja districts of Moroto, Kotida and Napak, with Bakora clan accusing Gai warriors Minister of Karamoja Affairs, Peter Rokolis, accompanied by the Brigadier Commander 405 Kotido, Kanobia Lugaba David Mululi, and the UPDF 3rd Division Deputy Commander, Brigadier General David Selunkuma, want to ensure that peace is restored between Karamoja clans.
The Turkana are the ones that have stolen their cows, but nobody from Madeniko, nobody from Bokora. Why are you then stealing from the Bokora?
Mama chamde tene bua ngelozenge jie ni Bokora toko ngatu. Tozike bore ngulu jik. Todongi toko na kito.
So he says from this tree, we does not want to hear anybody going to steal from the Bokora or from any other. Let us stop it.
Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Peter Rokolis, advised the Karamojongs to widen their income base by adopting agriculture.
Why do we accept this? That is why now you see the soldiers are here moving in the bushes and trying to force us to accept peace. We are being forced life. He has come and he wants peace to start. The cows of the year that are there, let them come and mix with the other cows there. No, there is no disturbance.
The MKY Initiative Foundation team, led by their chairperson Patrick Okiru, were part of the meeting and discussed introducing the growing of cashew nuts.
We're going to start, first of all, with planting cashew nut. Cashew nut seedling is one of the cash crop that you plant today, and in 3 years you should be able to be harvested. And it has a very high demand for it in terms of export.
Patrick Okiru also addressed Karamojongs at Panganyara County and advised them to stop conflicts.
As a country, as I told you that MK Youth Initiative, we have come to address the issue of the youth, and that is related to agriculture.
The Vice Chairperson MKY Initiative Foundation Eastern Region, Brenda Namukuve, says they want ladies to concentrate in skilling.
So I want to encourage you to take interest in this program. You know, our General Muhoozi Kainerugaba has very good things for this nation. So this is an opportunity for Karamoja. I'm encouraging you to embrace it. Mobilize other people. Go out there and tell them what you've seen today.
Leaders in Kotido district applauded MK Youth Foundation for introducing the initiative in Karamoja. The team later planted cashew nuts in the 405 Brigadier Barracks. Deborah Namamonde, Tanaba Kenneth, UBC News.
That the roots can go straight.
From Moroto, let's come back to Kampala, where the Katikiro of Buganda Kingdom, Charles Peter Maiga, has advised county chiefs to remind people on 5 pillars of Buganda Kingdom in order to change their livelihoods. Maiga made the remarks while opening a 3-day county chiefs retreat in Indeba here in Kampala.
The Uganda County Chiefs have held a 3-day retreat intending to empower them with leadership skills and development. Opening the retreat, the Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, advised them to focus on the 5 pillars of the kingdom.
Uganda's 5 aspirational pillars are what defines the heritage of the kingdom of Uganda. Because if we don't define what the heritage is about, it will be difficult for other people to appreciate what we stand for.
He re-echoed that despite denying a federal system to Buganda, people must work hard to reposition Buganda in its position.
Protection, preservation and promotion of the heritage of Buganda, including the incumbent on the throne. The second is sharing power with the central government and the federal system of government. The third is protection of our lands and borders. The fourth is hard work. That includes innovativeness. It includes promotion of health, education, and generally the well-being of the people of Buganda. And the final one is the unity of the people of Buganda, because we've got different parameters that define us. We must learn to respect what others believe in. We must learn to respect what others are. And that way we believe those who we respect shall reciprocate by respecting what we believe in.
Minister for Local Government Joseph Kawuki emphasized the importance of this retreat.
A Kabaka's chief is a unique person. He's one who is not expected to make any mistake. Many leaders in the political and other aspects of government always make mistakes and nobody cares. But people expect a Kabaka's chief to be a perfect person. So this gives us a great challenge that we must be ready for. We should not pay attention to what is said so long as what we are doing is in perfection, in the mirror of Sabasajja Kabaka.
The chairperson of Counter Chiefs, who is Budu Counter Chief Pokino Jude Moleke, says this has given them opportunity to discuss matters affecting their people.
Manyi bulungi ensangi zino ebibaddewo abantu buli omu atula gy'atudde n'akola by'ayagala ate ng'abantu batusuubiramu okubanga tumanyi obubaka bwe tulina okubaddiza ebyo bimu ku bitusoomooza tuba situli banywevu nga situmanyi gwe tuweereza nga situmanyi nti Katikkiro ye mukulu waffe atukulembera tubulira amawulire amatuufu tujja kufuna okusoomoozebwa wansi eyo.
The 3 days retreat will also discuss matters aiming at building UBC News.
We'll take yet another short break and return with business. Welcome back. Let's have a look at business news now. Farmers under their umbrella body, Uganda National Farmers Federation, want government to focus on areas that can promote agro-industrialization, such as irrigation and mechanization, to allow production on a large scale. Chief Executive Officer, Uganda National Farmers Federation, Perezi Kaumi, stresses that promoting agro-industrialization will create more employment for young people and ensure the country's food security.
Government has singled out agro-industrialization as one of the drivers of economic growth and development. The Uganda National Farmers Federation is in agreement with this fact, but agrees that meaningful agro-industrialization will be achieved by investing in innovative farming methods to enhance productivity, profitability, and sustainability in the agriculture sector.
No, there are people with thousands of acres of land but idle, and they would like to open them up and put them to agricultural use. You cannot open those thousands of acres of land with manual labor. And so we are saying the current budget, let us refocus, let us support farm mechanization. Number 2 on farm mechanization, we've seen the Ministry of Agriculture again coming up with the micro irrigation scheme. But I want to say this. They have assigned this work to the district local governments. Unfortunately, many district local governments have not reached out to the potential beneficiaries of this program.
The demands by Uganda National Farmers Federation comes at a time when the Federation and the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal, Industry and Fisheries is organizing the 30th National Agriculture Show to be held in Jinja from 26th July to 4th August on the theme Innovating Pathways to Farm Business-Led Agro-Industrialization.
Because this is now the backbone of the agriculture sector, this is the backbone of the government, and therefore cannot be left behind. And the simplest way of communicating this, ensuring that the farmers are getting involved in this, is by showcasing what has been done that support agro-industrialization, and also ensure that what is done is extended to the farmers.
It is that this platform, it is the only national platform where farmers get an opportunity nationally to engage with the policymakers of this country through our meetings that we normally hold at the official opening and closing function. So this is something which is worthwhile trying and also maintaining, because our farmers can give feedback.
The Agriculture Show is aimed at, among other things, showcasing the latest innovations in agriculture, promote knowledge sharing, market linkages, and engagement with policymakers for farmers to highlight issues affecting the agriculture sector.
Sports news now, and we'll look at rugby. Uganda Rugby Cranes returned to action Wednesday afternoon after shocker against Zambia in the Africa Rugby Cup. Uganda Rugby Union announced a change in venue for the games from Mutesa to Royal Stadium in Wankulukuku to Mandela National Stadium in Nambole, which held game day 1. Senegal will be first in action against Ivory Coast before hosts Uganda play Burkina Faso in a do-or-die fixture for Uganda. Now later on in the day, Kenya will play Algeria while Zambia play Namibia in the last fixture of the day. The 2024 edition of the Rugby Africa Cup is a precursor to the Rugby World Cup qualifiers are set to take place next year. The bottom place team will be relegated from the qualifiers. And that story brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.